Today's discussion is leveling up. How do you do it and how often should you do it? Let's talk about it. Welcome adventurers and fellow world builders. My name is Yadro and this is Yadro Gaming. There's two main ways that you can level up in a campaign in Dungeons & Dragons. The first one is experience-based, which most people are familiar with, and the other one has become increasingly popular, and that's by milestone leveling. Milestone leveling is pretty much whenever they get to a plot point that you think is worthy of a level up, where they've shown some kind of advancement in their personal stories, team stories, or if they've just fought a lot of monsters, you can give them a level up to reward them. When I first started DMing, I tried to go with an experience-based model because I just liked the slow progression that they could gain over time of everything that they accomplished, contributing to their experience and ultimately leading to a level. But the longer I've played, the more that I've really enjoyed milestone leveling, just because it keeps everyone on the same page, it's cleaner, it's easier, it's quicker, and it really pushes the players to not just focus on like what all can they attack and kill and steal, and it focuses more on what their plot points are and really trying to advance the story into something that they want to work together to achieve. Really leveling up is going to be all about the preference of your DM and the table that you decide to run. That's something that you should maybe discuss before the game starts, so you have an idea of just what the progression is going to look like for your character, and you can have a plan in the back of your mind. I like to level up my players a little bit on the quicker side, but I wasn't really sure just how often I was leveling them up with those milestones, so I actually went back to the last 5 campaigns that I've completed, and then I also mapped that against the current campaign that I'm running to see just how often I was actually leveling my party up. So I always start off campaigns at level 1. I just think that's the best way to learn a character. I know that it's really deadly and combats can be awful swingy when you're at that first level, but I do think it's the best way to learn your character and really get a solid footing. Universally, I always have them level up after the first session just so we can experience that level 1 and then get out of there and get a little bit more health and a little bit more abilities under their belt. After that, it can really just be dependent on what kind of campaign we're running. I will say, universally speaking, if we started all of our campaigns off at level 1, by session 7, they're almost always exactly at level 4. And then by session 13, we're almost always at level 6. The averages of all the campaigns came out very clear that at those session numbers, that is what our levels were. So of the 5 campaigns that I ran to completion, they averaged 24 sessions to actually get from start to finish, where we got to a point where we kind of felt, pretty good about where the story ended up, and the average level was just under 10. A lot of that ranged from level 8 to level 12, which I think is a pretty healthy campaign to end because, that's staying on one side of the really high level magic that can kind of break the game and break the physics of the world. So we kind of end our story some point in there. One of the longest campaigns I ever ran, I think, was 44 sessions long, and we went from 1 to 20 in that, and we were leveling up pretty quickly by the end because we wanted to just experience what that level 20 was going to be like, and they were really dealing with some really big threats in the world, so it made sense that they would progress at that rate. So if they are getting to level 10 or so, and they take about 24 sessions to get there, that means about every 2.4 sessions they're leveling. I think that makes sense. I think that's pretty fair, especially early on if we're going right away from level 1 to 2, sometimes right away from 2 to 3, and then things slow down a little bit, especially at like level 5, 6, 7. Normally those take 3 or 4 sessions to gain a level at. Normally around that point they kind of have their goals in mind, and they'll head for those plot points where they can hit one of those milestones and continue to gain levels. Before a campaign even starts, I usually have in my mind how far this game is going to go. So if I want an 8 to 10 sort of level finish, I'm trying to have our main story beats wrap up before we get to that point. I just love to spoil my players with all their cool little abilities that they can have as they level up. So I love to be a little bit on the quicker side. So every 2 to 4 sessions, I want to see them leveling. Usually it's every 3 sessions they can probably expect to have a level. I'm really hopeful that the current game we're running is going to go into the 15 to 17 level mark. I don't think we'll make it all the way to 20 because things just really start to fall apart at that point. But I'm really hoping that we can get that far because I really want to see where these characters develop and where they go from there. I guess I'm curious how your table runs it. Do you guys level up by milestone? Do you level up by experience? Do you wish your party leveled up faster? Or do you get a little bit frustrated and wish we slowed down a little bit so you can enjoy your character's journey a little bit more? Tell me in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and regardless of how you level up, continue to do so. I'll see you in the next video, and remember, why be a player when you can be a god?